Hey, it's time for a buck slap. That's right, a buck slap. We're going to dive into it with The View and also Morning Joe. Slap. That's how it's going to go. We'll start with The View. As you might know, Nikki Haley has said that she's going to vote for Donald Trump. Because of course she is. What else is she going to do? Turn on everything that she has built her entire political career on, the Republican Party, and refuse to back the Republican nominee because she didn't win a primary? No. And yet, one thing that I will say is a very good maxim for life. Don't ever take advice from your enemies because they don't want what's best for you. And despite Nikki Haley cozying up to the establishment at different times and being considered perhaps more acceptable to them than Donald Trump, well, that's not that hard because they hate Trump more than anybody. But guess what? They don't want what's best for Nikki Haley. All they want is power and the destruction of the Republicans who stand in the way. And that's why it's kind of funny when you watch The View, which is a bunch of Democrats, former Republican or two, but Democrats now, left-wingers, who are just telling Nikki Haley that she ruined her political career with this. Watch.
She was hope for people. It was an off-ramp. It wasn't a perfect candidate, but it was not Donald Trump. I think the fact that I said towards the end of it, she should have been going hard against Trump. She was never going to get a MAGA voter. They were always going to go towards DeSantis or Donald Trump. She should have owned that lane and stayed true to it, because I think she just buried herself for the future on this because there's no credibility. She lacked it and she flopped a lot, but she really could have had a moment with how she pulled through on those primaries. I mean, you had two people running as incumbents, Donald Trump, the incumbent of the Republican Party, returning to office, and President Biden, the actual incumbent.
That's insane, right? They really believe this? They really think that somehow there is a way for Nikki Haley to have a future in the Republican Party if she doesn't back Donald Trump at this point? They can't really mean that. But they don't know anything about the Republican Party. In fact, their job is to pretend to care about honesty with Nikki Haley and talk about her brand as though they have any idea. Yeah, it's Trump's Republican Party. He's won the primary. Every Republican politician is going to back him. There's a lot at stake here. Joe Biden is a clown show and an imbecile, and we all know it. So, yeah, they're going to back the guy who is leading the party. And this idea that Nikki Haley destroyed her brand, I get it, right? It's the pretense of caring about Haley, her brand, consistency, any of that, to just bash Republicans more. Everything is an excuse. You have to understand, on these shows, everything is an excuse to attack Trump and really all Republicans. The only Republicans who escape their ire are Republicans in the moment that they are useful for attacking Trump and the rest of the party. And there are whole people who make careers on this at places like MSNBC now. You'll notice the only Republicans they have are people that just spend all their time attacking the GOP and undermining conservatives. And the audience at home, bunch of lib loons, they all get to cackle at this like, see, this person worked for Bush, like Nicole Wallace or whatever. This person worked for Bush, and now all she does is make a living by trashing everything that she ever pretended to believe in. But what's even funnier than this, we got another buck slap here. Joe Scarborough, Mr. used to be a congressman from the Florida Panhandle and did a conservative show at MSNBC until it bombed and no one watched it. And wanted to, and everyone knows, has wanted to work at Fox News for like the last 2 decades. He now is lecturing Nikki Haley about having principle. He now is telling Nikki Haley that she needs to stick to her guns, so to speak. Watch.
It is mind-boggling that somebody who actually claims to know anything about policy would say what she just said. Like I said, I'm not shocked that she's cynical. She's been cynical her entire political career. It doesn't shock me she went back to Trump. But you're going to have to do a lot better than that, Nikki. I mean, hold our enemies to account? Hold our enemies to account?
It's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? You know, Nikki Haley, how could she? What do these people who hate Trump and Republicans and Haley and have no honesty, what do they think she's supposed to do? I just think it's funny. Of course she's going to do this. It was the most obvious thing in the world. Oh, but listen to your enemies. Listen to the people who stand against everything that you stand for. They're really going to help you out. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. And yeah, that's it for the Buck Slap today. I just want to say, make sure you subscribe to Crockett Coffee, crockettcoffee.com. Please subscribe. Most delicious coffee you'll find anywhere. And talk to you tomorrow. Shields high.